thank you so much to the audience members that have joined already. It's a pleasure to see some of you again, and it's an honor for myself to be involved in another one of these webinars with the Security Middle East magazine, collaborating with the individuals from Genetec and Convergint. My name, of course, is Daniel Norman. I'll be your webinar host today, collaborating very much with the team on asking the audience questions. Yeah, really looking forward to jumping into this discussion today about aviation security and whether or not airport security is future proof. And I was just mentioning to the gentleman offline before this started that I just got off of a call with an airport, and some significant challenges when it comes to information security, cyber risk, physical security, and the fact that the Middle East is investing so heavily in airports as a mechanism to empower or grow tourism and other interconnected industries. I think it just underpins the fact that this particular industry is truly now part of critical national infrastructure. Now, I have the pleasure of introducing our two speakers today. I'll start with Saif Al-Sharani, who is the KSA Country Director at Convergint. He's a seasoned digital transformation strategist, consultant, and leadership expert with tremendous amount of experience across a variety of fields, a very strong background in engineering management, and a proven track record of exceeding targets as well. Yeah, he's got an incredibly amount of knowledge when it comes to strategic growth, operations, project management, etc. So, Saif, welcome to the call.
Thank you very much, Daniel, and welcome everyone to this webinar. I hope, inshallah, it will be helpful for everyone. Thanks.
Very welcome. And collaborating very much with Saif is Salah Al-Gharib, who's a business development manager at Genetec. And yes, Salah, again, he's been working very much with Genetec, leading strategic initiatives to increase market presence in the region. He is very much involved in building partnerships with end users, system integrators, and consultants to expand the business in region. But he very much supports organizations on the ground with creating strategies, etc. as well. So a lot of experience in large-scale industrial projects and a solid expertise in security solutions. So, gentlemen, welcome to the webinar today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay. Well, let's jump straight into this then. So, let's jump straight into our first topic here, which is essentially navigating modern aviation security challenges. Now, I mentioned just in that introduction there that aviation industry has expanded significantly. There are a variety of giga projects all throughout the region that are critically dependent now on airports, airlines, and there are many challenges around security fragmentation, increased risks of insider threats, operational blind spots as well, outdated response mechanisms. So my first question would be to Saif, and as a system integrator working closely with airports across the region, what do you see as the biggest operational security challenges you've observed, and how do they impact overall airport efficiency?
Thank you, Dan, for this question. It's really very important. First, to talk about aviation sector is just to touch the challenges that are facing. So one of the biggest challenges we have seen is the fragmentation of systems across different departments. So from access control to surveillance and emergency response, each working in silos. So this results in an operational blind spots and delay in critical decision making. In Saudi Arabia, the growth of aviation sector is exponential, with nearly 18 international airports all over the kingdom and a goal to handle 330 million passengers annually by 2030. Such a scale demands seamless coordination. Yet, many airports still rely on disconnected systems. Integrating legacy platforms with modern systems is another hurdle, especially when balancing ongoing operation with the transformation. There are also challenges around insider threats like cybersecurity and compliance, all of which strain operational capacity and elevate risks. At Convergent, we specialize in removing those silos. We bring systems together into a centralized platform, enhancing efficiency, improving visibility, and ultimately future-proofing airport operations.
Wonderful. Thank you, Saif, for setting the scene there. I'd love to come to Salah here to get your opinion on this one. So, in your view, what are the most pressing security vulnerabilities in current airport infrastructures, and how can advanced technological solutions address these issues?
Oh, thanks, Dan, for the question. So airports are economic enablers, and they have been crowded more than ever. With air traffic is expected to double in 20 years globally, and the total annual passenger traffic in Saudi is projected to reach 330 million by 2030, as Saif just mentioned. And so this places a significant constraint on airports, and it presents four main challenges. So the first challenge is many airports are still having systems that are working in silos with limited visibility on airport areas, and so resulting in failure to detect threats and difficulty in coordinating dispatchers. So this, to mitigate this security risk associated with crowded airports, having a unified platform that promotes infrastructure sharing to provide greater visibility, of course, and insights on the overall operation is a key. So this is the first point. The second challenge is cybersecurity. So there is no doubt with digitization increases the cybersecurity vulnerability. And so having a unified, robust platform that takes no compromise on cybersecurity allows to have better protection with cutting-edge technologies for those airports. The third challenge we have currently on many of the airports is the inability to leverage emerging technologies and such as analytics. So technology is advancing as a rapid pace, and in order to better have customer experience, is you have to have an open platform. And so having an open platform allows for advanced technologies to be accommodated in those airports. And this is a segue to our fourth and last challenge is the scalability and adaptability. Airport security systems departments, IT teams, and other stakeholders must foresee the future for at least 3 to 5 years and make sure that they have the plans for expansions and what we call is the high availability or a disaster recovery in place to accommodate any further expansions. So these are the four main challenges that we see currently at airports.
Thank you very much there. And we always love involving, the audience in these webinars as well. So I'd love to start maybe our first poll at this stage, which will cover the following question, which will be, what is your organization's biggest challenge when it comes to airport security? And if you could click maybe one of the options on screen, we'll give that maybe 20 seconds or so you can review. And then we would love to, move on to topic 2. Okay, so we can see a few answers coming through. Give that 10 more seconds so people can provide their perspectives. Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for answering the questions there. So it's really interesting. I mean, clearly there's a lot of challenges is what I would reflect upon there. And interesting that siloed systems and lack of integration is something that is a top challenge there, which actually nicely moves us on to the next topic area, I believe, gentlemen. So if we move on to topic 2, which covers, airports embracing centralized security solutions, which really should provide better context to some of the answers we saw in those questions. And yeah, essentially, when we look at airports, airlines, and the interconnected, supply chains, there are a variety of different industries that are subsequently dependent on one another. That, if you look at the entire ecosystem, all play a critical role in some capacity. So having visibility of the threats and being able to manage that risk is critical. So I would love to come back to yourself, Saif, with the first question for topic 2, which is, many airports struggle with siloed security systems. How does transitioning to a centralized security platform improve operational efficiency?
Okay. Centralized security is no longer an optional, or it is an essential for airports looking to scale effectively. With Saudi Arabia investing over $50 billion in airport development, including mega projects like King Salman International Airport, which alone will accommodate 120 million passengers annually. Operational efficiency becomes a national priority. By consolidating disparate systems into centralized platform, airports can reduce duplication, enhance coordination also between teams, and gain real-time situational awareness. This leads to faster incident response, optimized staff deployment, and measurable cost savings. At our company, Convergint, we don't just integrate systems. We tailor centralized solutions that align with each airport operations, because each airport, it has completely, let's say, different operational aspects that they are taking care of. So with this aspect, it ensures smooth system compatibility and allows security leaders to make smarter, faster decisions and driven by actionable intelligence.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, Saif. And I'd love to come to yourself now, Saleh, with the next question, which is, clearly unified platforms play a very important role in enabling centralized security. Could you perhaps walk us through how a centralized multi-layered security system, coupled with emerging technologies such as AI, can improve threat detection and response, and anything else that we might want to consider?
Absolutely. In this day and age, critical infrastructural facilities like airports must have interconnected systems in order to increase the level of security and operational efficiency. Our solutions at Genetec for airports unify video surveillance, access control system, automatic license plate recognition system, perimeter intrusion, communication, and analytics, all within one platform, providing an airport security team with complete visibility over the entire airport and its operation. Previously, disconnected systems can now be managed through a single pane of glass. That would result in eliminating data silos, enhancing system capabilities with data sharing. There are 3 main points that we can highlight here. Unified security platforms provides better visibility by digesting data coming from cameras, readers, IoT devices, perimeter detection systems, and connected airport systems like airport operation database, baggage handling systems, and other systems as well. The second point, we could leverage a decision-making system or collaborative decision-making system tool like Genetec Mission Control. These tools can guide operators through their resolutions using automated workflows and standard operation procedures. The third and last point is the use of advanced analytics and intelligence automation. This allows operators, of course, to drastically reduce the nuanced alarms by obtaining the right information at the right time to make the best decision and business outcome. This, of course, would enhance the security and safety at the airport and reduce congestion and improve passenger experience through analytics-driven insights and optimized terminal operations.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sally, for that insight there. And I think we've got another poll, which I would love to ask to the audience here around which areas do you think would benefit the most from implementing AI-powered centralized platforms in your setting? So again, perhaps another 30 seconds. Please do click on the answer that's most relevant to yourself, and then we can analyze the findings after that 30 seconds. Okay, so I can see some of the answers coming in. We'll give it another 10 seconds or so. Okay, perfect. So surveillance and threat detection is the clear number one here, followed by passenger flow and crowd management, maintenance and asset optimization. Yeah, it's interesting again because you sort of think of the security implications of these sort of applications, but there's also an incredible sort of use case here for improving operational efficiency as well when it comes to passenger flow, crowd management, safety as well. So it's kind of positioning the security element here as a business enabler, which Saif and Sally both referenced throughout as well. So really interesting that we've heard that. Okay, so if we move swiftly onto the third topic, which is real world applications. Fantastic. So yeah, an airport very close to myself here, I can see on screen. Okay, so I'd love to come to yourself again here, Saif, and essentially here we're looking at use cases, showcasing how international airports improve security, operations, etc., using centralized solutions. And in your perspective as a systems integrator, what are the critical factors for a successful security transformation in an airport?
Okay, thank you. There are three elements that are critical to success transformation. First is deep understanding of the airport's current state, its pain points, infrastructure, and long-term objectives. Example, Abha Airport is upgrading its capacity from 1.5 to 13 million. Imagine expanding the capacity of an airport 10 times than its current capacity is a very big challenge. So such transition needs a solid foundation assessment. Need to have exactly to focus on this first element for this critical successful. Second one is the seamless implementation, and in aviation, there is no room for operational disruption. When you have any upgrade to the airport, you need to make sure that you are making it in parallel. So everything must be done in parallel with live operation, which requires experienced planning and making sure that you are not disrupting the existing operation of the airport. The third one is system compatibility. Airports already have a mix of old and new technologies. So the success of a new solution depends on how well it integrates with existing infrastructure. At Convergint, we take pride managing these transformations in a way that ensure continuity, efficiency, and long-term scalability for the systems which are available in the airport. Fully aligned with Vision 2030, there's an ambition behind that, and this ambition is making Saudi Arabia a global aviation hub. Such transformation that is happening, it needs a full focus on those 3 points to make sure that you are making a successful transformation.
Thank you, Saif. And maybe dovetailing off of that question there, I'd love to open up a question to you, Saleh. Can you share an example or even a success story where Genetec's unified security helped an airport improve security through a centralized platform? And what were the key outcomes?
Of course, Dan. Genetic solutions are deployed at more than 300 airports worldwide and 70% of the region's airports. Many of those airports have thousands of connections connected to Genetec systems, from cameras, readers, ALPR, IoT devices, and other integrated systems. One success story that we're excited to share with you here in this webinar is the London Heathrow Airport. It's one of Europe's busiest airports, handling about 80 million passengers and 14 million tons of goods annually. So Heathrow initially deployed Genetec Security Center to bring all of its IP security systems into one unified platform. They began with 2,000 camera deployment in 2016, and since then the number has more than quadrupled in size, incorporating everything from video, access control system, to LiDARs, analytics, automatic license plate recognition systems, and more. Today, Genetec solutions at Heathrow are used to go far beyond security. For example, Genetec solutions are used to monitor over 150 kilometers of baggage belts and facilitate the daily entry and exit of over 150,000 of vehicles. So this is one of the key outcomes. The other key outcome is Genetec Security Center now supports 90 stakeholders at Heathrow groups, working at 110 distinct control rooms, all of whom have different, of course, needs and requirements. They have customized, of course, dashboards to enable their individual teams and third party like police, government agencies, airlines, retailers to focus on their specific tasks. The third example or outcome of this implementation is having some operational staff are given tools to monitor passenger flow, and when automatically notified, the security lines are growing too long, so they would be notified there. Meanwhile, the IT team don't see any camera feeds, but they have access to the dashboard for the health system. So it notify the IT department if there are any devices that have fallen offline, or if they require software or firmware update. And so this is the third key outcome of Heathrow Airport.
Wonderful, thank you very much. And I believe that brings us to the end of the topics that we want to cover today regarding airport and aviation security. I would love to open up some questions to the audience here. So if any of the audience members have any questions, please do add them to the question panel. And yeah, we can jump into there, or I can open up some questions to both of the gentlemen online to perhaps provide some inspiration for some topics to cover. But please do, any questions, add them to the Q&A box and we will endeavor to get to them. Okay, now I think I'll perhaps kick off with one question, and either one of you, I'd be more than happy to listen to the answers here. And when it comes to, I suppose, security centralization, it's clear that there's a lot of different alerts coming from different systems that may potentially flood an operator. So how would you prioritize alerts without creating an environment that creates too much noise for the individuals responsible?
Yeah, if I may answer this question, if you allow me, Daniel, and you allow me, Sarah.
Of course.
There are different ways of dealing with such. It's by assigning some certain requirements to some certain people based on their role in the operation. So assigning those based on the alarms that are coming to such people using the new technologies that are used, like artificial intelligence, like parameter detection, like crowd management, whatever analytic solution is providing such type of alarms, managing it by the platform and assigning it directly to those people. In this case, by the roles of the people, who is taking what. And I believe Saleh just mentioned something related to Heathrow Airport, where there are different locations for different roles in the airport. So I believe this is the right way to direct alarms to responsible people to deal with.
Interesting. And there's one question that's top of mind for me. And if I think of many of the airports that I've personally collaborated with in recent history, many airports have a variety of legacy systems, across different sites. How realistic is a truly centralized model without fully ripping out these systems and services and replacing them?
I may answer this question. So airports are critical infrastructure, so they cannot go offline for even a second, right? And so there is always have to have contingency plans and phases for deployment, and of how you going to have a digital transformation, or how you are going to upgrade those systems. And so first and foremost is really this is going to happen through phases. It cannot happen just all in one phase where you could disrupt so many operations within the airport. And so making sure that the proper plan is put in place for upgrading or moving to having a digital transformation into those airports. You can have systems running in parallel, and that would be the best possible way in order to ensure you don't have any disruption to the airport operation. So we see that many times where if there are legacy systems, you would make sure to have two systems in parallel, a new system and the old system, until, let's say, the phase for that system, for a retention period of that system came to an end, you would move to a new system that has been put in place.
Interesting.
I can also add to that. Thank you, Saleh. Also, increase the integrating capabilities for the systems that are working together. So making sure that those systems are integratable, scalable. This will help also to reduce the effect on the customer, to not just change the legacy system, but upgrading them and making them able to be upgraded and able to be integrated with other systems, especially with the platforms.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting point. And I think we actually have another question that's very much connected here, I think, because if you take all of these disconnected systems with a variety of different stakeholders and management departments, etc., in your opinion, which department should own centralized security in an organization? Is it IT, security? What's your opinion there?
My opinion is the people who are responsible for taking the responsibility of making everything happening correct. You cannot say it is only the responsibility of this department. It can be responsibility of different departments, depends on the operation, how it is operated, but usually the security department are the most involved people with every aspect related to security of the airport.
If I may just add to what Saif just mentioned, of course, it's a collaborative effort here. So security system departments, they need to collaborate with different stakeholders, whether be it IT departments or the security operators and other departments within the airport. So it's a collaborative work, but it's what we have seen. All of these efforts are being coordinated by the security system department at the airports.
Okay. We've actually got two really interesting questions that have come in here, which are connected to that previous questions I just asked around, stakeholder management and responsibility. The question is, in your experience, do centralized platforms actually reduce response time, or will it just add another layer of tech dependency on top of an already, challenging environment? Very provocative question, I know, I know. So
Yeah, and you see, usually the customer is always right because he want to make sure that what is being implemented in the airport is going to help to reduce the risk and to make sure that increases the efficiency. So yes, if it is designed very well, if the alarms are designed very well, if every operational aspect is taken care of, yes, of course, it will reduce the risk of and making the response very high, especially if the people know how to use the system and there are layers of how to respond to that. I believe it can do.
I can add one more point here. So we mentioned earlier is to leverage a collaborative decision management system. Genetec Mission Control reduces the nuance alarm. So so all of the other noises from the alarms are being reduced automatically by having a workflow and standard operation procedures that are set by the procedures and processes of the end user or of the airport. And so only the critical alarms and alerts are coming into the operator for their attentions. So any minor alarms that can be and put at the lowest of a priority will be reduced or will be filtered from the mission control.
Okay, interesting. I think that may answer the actual follow-up question that I can see on here, which is there a tipping point where centralization starts to slow decision making, especially in large organizations with multiple stakeholders? Perhaps any other insights that directly answer that question? I'm very conscious that you've both given good answers before, but any other insights?
I think if there's a lack of integration between the systems, yes, it will reduce the response time. But if you are making sure that there is a great integration between all the different systems, it will enhance, of course, and it will also make a collaboration effort. For example, access control is a completely dedicated system for access control. And analytics is completely dedicated for some behavioral analytics. So if you merge them together, so you can know who's making this act and from where he is coming, and you can also control the crowd of the people based on those solutions. So integration is an essential aspect here, making sure that those systems are also integrated. Then instead of making every decision in every solution, no, you are now collaborating them all in one platform and you can respond to all of them from that platform. And you can make sure that and you can also make a predictive or proactive moves in terms of the response. It's not only a reactive. So there are some solutions that are proactive. You can make proactive move before also the incident is happening. So you can detect and making sure that there might be an incident happening in this situation. And in this case, you are making a proactive move rather than a reactive move.
Okay, thank you. And I think more of a, I suppose, a realistic question here around the integration piece. And one of the audience members has asked, can Genetec integrate with other third-party security systems? Is that feasible?
Yes. Genetec is an open IP platform. And so we have an SDK and API that, if you need an integration with third-party systems, we do integrate with third-party systems.
Okay, perfect. And I'd love to pivot a little bit towards the AI element. I know we spoke about it briefly in the presentation today. Now the question here is AI in your current security system actually being used for real-time decision making, or is it just analytics on the dashboard itself?
So it would actually, we have different types of analytics, of course. So nowadays you have on-edge analytics, you have server-based analytics, and we, as Genetec, we have our own analytics. These are all live analytics, so they can be digested and analyzed all momentarily, and so these can be seen live, and you could go to the recorded videos as well and see any analytics based on the recorded videos as well.
Okay, fantastic. And then there's a follow-on question which follows the same vein of thought here, and it's around predictive threat detection, which is quite a divisive topic, I know. But have you ever potentially experienced a real use case where your systems or an AI-backed piece of software prevented something before it happened?
So there is the only example I can think of at airports, for example, we have analytics for connected to the baggage handling systems. And let's say if there is close by child into the baggage handling system getting closer, the video analytics will provide the security operator with a notification that there is a child there that might be closer and having a safety risk, jumping to the baggage handling system. So there is those type of predictions that you could have into the security platform using analytics, of course.
Okay, interesting. I've got another interesting question that's just come in, actually. So I'll read this one out for you both. It says, in light of rapid advancements in technology and evolving security threats, do you believe that current airport security systems and protocols are truly future-proof? What measures should be prioritized to ensure airports remain resilient, adaptive, and secure in the face of emerging threats or challenges?
Yeah, this is very important and very deep question. That depends upon, because you cannot say a broad answer for such question. You need to go back and to check the existing systems in the airports and making sure that you are making the right assessment. From my opinion, if the airports are taking care of infrastructure, this is the first thing, making sure that those systems are integratable and those systems are scalable. Usually technology is always evolving and it is moving towards. So if you build the right basement or the right base for those technologies to move forward, I believe it can be scalable and it can adapt a lot of solutions that are coming in the future. So it's only depending about the infrastructure, how well organized it is, how scalable it is, and how integratable it is.
Wonderful. Any final comments there from yourself as well, Saleh?
Just to second what Saif said, definitely you need to make sure the whole supply chain of infrastructure is ready to scale to be able to accommodate integrations and upgrades, because you could have one area where you are upgrading the system, but other areas are not able to accommodate. So compatibility, scalability, and adaptability is important. And so making sure the whole chain of technologies that the airports has, can be all working together, in a very smooth manner.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, one final question I think I can see here. It says that, do you think that AI will replace traditional video surveillance operators or just augment them?
Well, I don't. The source that you can depend on it for AI is the video. So you need to have video, of course, in order for you to analyze it and to make those additional adaptability to those videos. So I can say it is essential to have this video because the video feed is very important for you to analyze it and to utilize the artificial intelligence. So from my opinion, I think it is very important. It is a part that enhances it, making more analysis on it and making more also related things to it. You cannot augment, and you cannot also only assume that those moves are happening. You need to have a real time. So real time is happening when you have the video feeds, and accordingly you can analyze it and you can take a second step or a second move with it.
Okay. And then a follow-up question around the AI question related to video surveillance. And it says, how much do you trust AI to make critical security decisions without human intervention in the video analytics element?
If I may answer this question, we always say that analytics is a great tool to help us respond in a timely manner, but you always need to rely on a human decision making as well. And so, when it comes to security and safety, human intervention is always needed. With the use of AI, of course, you need to use AI nowadays, but human decision-making system decision is integral in these type of scenarios.
Yeah, I can echo Saleh 100%. It depends also on the people themselves who are using AI intelligently. AI is just a tool. It's just helping you to enhance your decision-making process. It doesn't make the right decision instead of you unless it is tested and certified. So making sure that the people intervention is available is a must, at least at this point where most of the systems are just in the phase of testing and in the phase of enhancing the decision making.
Okay, fantastic. And there's a couple of questions coming in here, and I'd love to ask this one, which is coming from the audience member. It's quite a long one to read out, so bear with me. It says, considering the increasing integration of advanced technologies such as AI, biometrics, and automated screening, to what extent are current strategies aligned with the future threat landscape? And how can airports proactively bridge the gap between innovation and operational readiness while maintaining regulatory compliance and passenger experience? So a big question to digest there, gentlemen.
Yeah, if I understand this question correctly, security is about securing the people and securing the facilities and securing such infrastructure like airport, which is an essential thing, because you are not only securing yourself and you are not only monitoring the people, you are securing all the people or the innocent people who are traveling with no intention of harming others, except some others that you want to make sure that you are securing the facility, taking care of their actions. There are a lot of threats, and that technology is always evolving. There are a lot of new technologies that are coming to the scene, depending on the use cases that is being seen in the environment, and accordingly there is a response from the vendors, from the innovators, to make sure that they are bringing new systems. So I don't see any problem with moving if you are keeping the security of the people as a priority and making sure that you are following the regulation. So I don't see a conflict between these two. You can do them in parallel, and you can move forward to secure people because it's for the sake of security of people.
Okay. Interesting, very interesting. Now, I'm conscious we're coming up to towards the end of the webinar here, and we've really covered quite a tremendous amount of content here, from some of the challenges that we see with the nature of the adapting ecosystems within a modern airport. We've covered areas around artificial intelligence and how organizations can leverage that to supercharge their security and visibility of threats. We've had a number of questions here as well around implementation, around management and governance of these particular systems. So I'm very pleased with the collaboration and involvement of the audience as well. So thank you very much to the audience for your questions. To summarize, it's clear that the airline and sort of aviation industry is a core pillar, an incredibly important element of critical national infrastructure, especially in the Middle East, which is underpinning elements of Vision 2030, and providing that the mechanism for tourists to enter the country, for goods and services to smoothly enter and exit that region is really such a critical element of any environment or ecosystem. So gentlemen, what I love to do with all of these webinars is just give you an opportunity for some closing statements. What are the key topics that you think we've covered today? Any closing statements you'd love to make? And I'd love to come to yourself first, Saif. What are the sort of key areas that you'd love to leave the audience with today?
Well, first, I thank all the audience for their interaction. I can see a lot of beautiful questions, a lot of concern about understanding and making sure that those systems are helping and supporting them in their operations. And thanking them for their attendance and for their collaboration. So that's the first thing and the most important thing, at least for me. Second thing is that we are all together trying to make better decision making, better life, and better solutions to our customers. At the end of the day, the customer is expecting some experts who are working in the domain to come up with new solutions that will reduce the cost and enhance the response time and making a smooth operations. Those are coming with the new technologies. Those are coming with adapting with the evolvement of the technology towards the future. And thanks to everyone. We are there to support.
Thank you very much. And Saleh, what are your final closing statements?
Of course, I would like to thank everyone who have attended the webinar. One takeaway from this webinar is having a unified platform that goes beyond security to provide operational insights allows for our customers to improve their business, and environment. And so making sure we go beyond security, of course, and the security and safety, and beyond that, making sure our clients and our customers, especially those critical infrastructure facilities like airports, they have the best and most optimized operational efficiency.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for your closing statement, Saleh and Saif, and for your collaboration and involvement in the webinar today. Again, big thank you to the audience for your participation. And I would encourage you to scan the QR code on screen here in order to reach out further. If you do have, in fact, any additional questions that you may want answered, and I would certainly recommend exploring both websites on screen. So to summarize, thank you again to everyone. Really enjoyed this webinar, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Thank you very much.